Shut up.
What is happening, friends of CCP Podcasting? Welcome to Beyond the Bell Live. I am Chris Page. It is a Tuesday night. It is early in March, and this is going to be a great conversation that we're going to have here this evening. But before we get to our guest, let me go ahead, guys. We are knocking on the door. Chapter 3, Good Vibrations, is indeed right around the corner, and we're bringing 9 matches to Chatsworth, hanging out with our friends at Primal Pro Wrestling and Millennium Pro Wrestling. And guys, let me tell you something. Card's looking fantastic. You cannot go wrong. Opening match. We're kicking things off with a Black Friday rematch between CJ Tino and Daniel Moon. It was Mr. Moon who pulled the dub back in November. CJ Tino's been looking for a little bit of revenge, and we're going to see if he can knock it out and if he can get it on the 28th of March. But that is not all, guys. We've also got our friends from One Division Pro. They are in the house. They're defending their championship for the first time in California. Roachy Roach is going to be in the house defending against 1DP's own Phineas Sun. We're looking forward to having our friends at One Division Pro in the house for Chapter 3, Good Vibrations. That is not all, man. Matthias, he is rocking and rolling as a SoCal heavyweight champion for almost a year, if not over a year. He's going up against former MPW champion Busio, and that's the first time ever, guys. That is not all. Millennium Pro Wrestling, they are putting the national championship on the line as Dallas Dash, our own Dallas Dash, with myself in his corner, taking on the national champion. Dustin Jack Daniels and Chuck Mercer will be in Dustin's corner. Too many D's involved in that match. But nonetheless, it's going to go down for sure. And that's not all. We've got our own Goth who has sponsored Skrilla Gray here. He's going to return for a second round with J2 Mattioli. At Chapter 2, Next Level, it was J2. Came up a little short. Skrilla the Great, maybe some shady tactics. We're going to see what happens when J2 gets Skrilla in his own backyard in Southern California. But that is not all. The Primal Pro Heavyweight Championship is on the line, guys. We're talking about Yasin Khan, Michael Hopkins for the Primal Pro Heavyweight Championship. That is not all. The winner of this match is going to move on to Legends Rise in April in Orlando, Florida, because they will qualify to win our World's Heavyweight Championship. One-night tournament. 8 people will enter. 1 will leave. Could it be one of these 2? You're going to have to be there to find out. And announced just the other day, Fatal 4-Way. Frankie Flacco, sponsored by No Game Unturned, takes on Jake Mays and also Jeremiah Fresh. And what about Miggy Rose? Fatal 4-Way, it's coming your way, and all roads will lead to your main event, which could be the last time these 2 teams take the stage together. The Brothers Divine and the Pump Line will headline Chapter 3, Good Vibrations. You can be there. Get your tickets at ccppodcasting.com, and I have been asked, yes, they will be available at the door as well. You do want to be there. It's going to be a great weekend. Millennium Pro on Friday night. Our show Saturday afternoon. And then you can go with us down to fucking San Diego on Sunday. And we're going to check out Primal Rage. It's going to be a fantastic weekend of Southern California action. And I really do encourage you guys to be there for all 3 events. We couldn't do this without our friends there. And we are going to show our support. And we're going to be at every show that particular weekend. It's going to be a fun time. Now, let's get to why we are here today, ladies and gentlemen. When I talk about SoCal, and I talk about Chapter 3, our guest today is indeed a part of all of that. And Convenient have not announced his match just yet. Wonder if that may come on our episode today. Maybe, maybe not. We're going to find out here in just a few minutes. He came across our screen initially through Primal Pro Wrestling. And over the course of the last 8, 9, 10 months, this guy has grown on me. He has grown on me and grown on me and grown on me. And I go back to his match with Jake Redondo for the Primal Pro Championship. When I sat down and I watched that with JB on our live stream, we were just completely just taken aback with how good of a singles competitor he was. And maybe he always had it, and I just didn't see it until that match. But since that match has taken place, this brother has been on my radar to the degree but I'm rocking his shirt. He's your boyfriend's favorite wrestler. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Beyond the Bell Live, Mr. Xander Phillips. How are you, sir? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How are you
Man,
doing?
I couldn't be better if I tried. That's what I will always tell people. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, I will always try and keep it positive, and
Awesome.
that's the name of the game. But before we get too deep into the party, man, welcome everybody. If you're watching on Twitch, if you're over on YouTube, or if you're checking us out on X, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. And fun fact, guys, it's our guest's birthday today. Happy birthday, Mr. Phillips. I hope you're doing well today on your.
It is indeed my birthday. Thank you very much. Thank
Would
you.
you like
Thank
to hear
you.
something funny? You share a
Sure.
birthday with my
Please.
husband. You do.
Really? No. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. That's awesome.
You totally do. He's actually in the living room now, kicked on the recliner, watching Traders. It's interesting. I don't.
You kept that in the chamber. You did not tell me
No,
that
I did
in the
not.
message. You
I
had to
did
keep it
not
in the
tell you that
chamber.
at all. I don't. Yeah, it's been a fun day. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. And it's going to be a great conversation, man. I've been looking forward to getting you on the show, just to sit down and talk to you because you've drawn us in so much over the last 10 months at least, and it could be even a little bit longer. I'm not sure at this point. They all run together. But ever since stumbling into Primal, you've been a figure there. You've been a staple there, and this is going to be a great conversation. I cannot wait to pick your brain. And I like to start at the top, and the top for me is Fandom. What drew you into professional wrestling, and what was going on around you? What was going on the television? What drew you in altogether?
So it's actually kind of a weird, unique story, or I don't know if it's unique for other people. But so I didn't start out watching it. I was first exposed to wrestling via video
Okay.
games. Uh, I'm sure everyone knows WWF No Mercy for the
Oh
64.
yes.
Um, yeah. I knew nothing about pro wrestling in general. I didn't know anything about storylines or anything like that. I was 5 years old, and the only thing that anyone ever told me was that Stone Cold Steve Austin hates Vince McMahon, and for some reason that was all I needed. um,
Hmm.
so I didn't watch it on television, mostly just because I was a child and I didn't have control of the remote yet. And For a while, it was just video games, and I was kind of able to make my assumptions from there. Um, but I kind of grew out of it when I was like, 6, 7, 8, and whatnot. And it wasn't until I was about 10 or 11 where I was actually immersed into it. So I was watching Dancing with the Stars with my mom, and it was season 2, and Stacy Keebler was on that
Hmm.
season, and I remember being like, Who, this woman right here is a wrestler. That's insane. I have to see this. I have to see this because I had friends that were wrestling fans, and I would always hear just inklings of it, but I would always just kind of ignore it. Her name has popped up maybe once or
Hmm.
twice, and I remember I know that name sounded familiar for some reason. So one day I tuned in, and the funny thing about it is, at that point Stacy had already retired. So uh, it took maybe 8 months for me to realize that like she wasn't even popping up ever. But at that time, of all that time of just sitting and waiting, I got immersed to everything else. So I was it was 2006. I started watching right before WrestleMania 22, which in my opinion is the greatest mania of all time. That's just me. My first mania, it's I think it's perfection. Um, But yeah, I guess since '06, when I was 11, that's when it started, and it literally has not stopped ever since.
It's funny that I talk to so many people, and video games seems to be a pretty big drawing point
I'll be
for
honest.
a lot of you
Uh,
guys that are getting into it now, or were getting into it in the that genre, or that era, if you will. Like I uh, I remember the No Mercy on Nintendo 64. I think it's the greatest game ever. By the way, still thinks it stands.
yeah, we still think it's the greatest wrestling
Uh,
game like ever.
Over in chat, UK Paul, obviously over in the UK, says top tier game right there. See, he knows what's up. He knows. He
Yeah.
gets it. I love the fact that it started with video games, and then you got into seeing the actual in ring stuff on television and watching it and following along with it from that point.
Mhm.
When do you really decide to stick your toe in the water and get into the business? Excuse me, I may be able to talk tonight. I don't know. When did you decide to get into the business in general, and what did your road to a training facility look like? What led you to it, I should say?
So so it was always in the back of my head that I always wanted to like try, but growing up I was the kid that was so I had, like, really bad asthma. And while all the other kids were outside running around, I would be inside hooked up to an albuterol machine.
Mm,
So that was most of my life, in like gym. All the long distance running would always hinder me. So for so long, I thought that I wasn't necessarily physically able to do something like
mhm.
that. Um, so that was for quite a while. I'm probably until I was like in my 20s. um, but when I finally started, or actually like took the leap to train, uh, when I found Level Up, which was in San Diego, it was right after I had just moved back home from Los Angeles. I lived there for like 5 years, and I just moved back home and looking for a change. I actually applied there to be a manager, to be like a
Mhm.
valet. I would be just fully a character. Maybe I'll take a bump or two, but technically, wrestling was always the plan, but it wasn't always like actually being in the ring and being like doing it was never like a part of it. Just I needed to be in it somehow. I just never thought that I would actually
In
be
it.
that I would actually be like in the ring wrestling. But when I had my interview with B Boy, who ran Level Up at the time, he was like, "Yeah, we make all of our beginners do just like the regular beginner course, you know. So just to so you can pay your
Yeah, well, I
dues,
mean, you gotta
you
if you're
know,
gonna get in
get
there,
as
even
much
as a
equity
manager, if you're
out."
gonna get in there and try and take a bump, you gotta know
Yeah,
how to.
exactly.
Yeah, that's yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
Go ahead. I
exactly.
didn't mean to step on you.
And I ended up being a natural, sort of. Not to toot my own horn, but yeah. Technically, I was always the athletic kid. It was always just my cardio that would always hinder me. And once I got through that portion of it, because once they get you in there, you're in there squatting for you know an hour, and then you're running for an hour, and then it's a lot.
Mhm.
Once I got through that point, once I got through that hurdle, uh, things started to actually come easy for me. And I think it was just because of all of the exposure that I had within the years, because I was sort of a study when I was a teenager. I would watch stuff and actually analyze it. I would actually study character work. I would actually study like you know ring psychology, things like that. So I always just thought that I would just be a really, really smart manager, and I'd be able to like help people in their own characters and whatnot. So actually coming up with something on my own was it was very cathartic. Just as someone who kind of thought that we weren't really out. Excuse me. See, I can't talk today either.
I started it. That's my fault.
Just
I'll take the blame.
just as somebody that was always just in the kitchen hooked up to the machine. um I feel like I broke out of my own like cage doing this. So it's a very cathartic
Well,
experience.
you say a couple of things there that I do want to touch on, and the first thing is like shout out to you for not giving up. Right, like you could have always have said with asthma or in that situation, you could always say no, it's just not for me, and never tried. and you didn't. You did try, and it's turned into something that's really, really good. And as we're going to get into within our conversation, and then the backside of that is when you come into something like this, and you don't necessarily know the physical nature that this will take. When you said it yourself, like squats, and then you're running. So like my first day of training, but I'm gonna tell you, we did not do roll. We ran ropes for 75 minutes. That's what we did day
Mm.
one in 1999. So imagine
Oh,
how
I didn't hit the ring.
how
They gave us a couple of weeks before you could even touch it.
no sir, it was
Yeah.
and I can't tell you how many times I threw up day one. And I'll tell you this too. I had my initial class started with 14 people, and when it finished with three finished, me and two others.
Mm.
A lot of the guys dropped after day one, and it was just terrible. It's terrible because ultimately too, like I understand, like I guess times have changed a little bit. In my era, it was still more old school mentality. So like if you couldn't take it, then you weren't going to be there. You know what I mean? Like they're trying
Mm.
to wean out those who didn't really want this. And with you having to battle, asthma of that nature, it really brings a really solid question. How are you able to kind of overcome that as you're training, or did it have an effect at all? Were you able to navigate everything, or battling? Having to have asthma. You're the first person I've talked to, at least openly, that says something about asthma. So I'm kind of curious to see what kind of stuff you had to do to overcome that while you were lacing them up and training.
Um, it was just a matter of my mindset, I guess. I realized that a lot of my issues with my cardio just stemmed from my head, just not believing in myself.
Mm.
Um, I'll be honest with you, I haven't used an inhaler at all since probably before my debut, even. I don't know how that happened. It's almost like I ran it off. But my asthma isn't. I don't think it's gone. But it's almost like kind of just sitting there dormant
No,
instead of
no,
being
it got
as
bitch slapped. It
active
got
and
bitch
as
slapped by
inflammatory.
Xander Phillips. That's what happened. You
I
bitch
guess it
slapped
did.
asthma, kicked its ass too. It doesn't surprise me at all. With training, man, what were some of your strengths, and on the backside of that, were some of your weaknesses? What were some, obviously some stuff that you had to work on, and some stuff that maybe it just came now. You said you were natural to begin with, like it just came naturally. So let's talk a little bit about both of those sides of that coin.
So I I briefly mentioned that I lived in Los Angeles
Sure.
for 5 years. I was an actor first. Um, I've I guess you could technically say I still am. Every time I try to say that I'm not an actor anymore, I'm like, well, this is kind of, you know,
Depending, yes.
um, yeah, this is kind of, yeah, this is kind of what it is. But during that time, I took a few courses in like stage
Mhm.
combat. So I was, like little, not like super big stunt stuff, but they at the very least kind of already taught me how to distribute my weight in a safe manner. Um, we didn't have a ring, obviously. Most of my classes were in a gym, so it was just a hardwood floor. So I guess being able to, I'm a little aerial.
Mhm.
I do a lot of things off of the top rope, and I guess being there, I guess it taught me how to control my body while in the air.
Mhm.
Uh, that was so doing things like the rolls. The rolls came super easy to me. All of them, the jumping rolls, the uh, tiger rolls, stuff
Mhm.
like that. All of that came really easy to me. So things like bumping kind of came a little quick to me as well. If there was anything I was weak on, I know I said that I was studying marine psychology, but you never really know about like like your own ring psychology until you get in there and do it
Mm-hmm.
yourself. You can always watch somebody else, but like once you're in there, it's like the things that work for you are like everybody has their own like mixed bag, and the things that work for you might not work for other people. So like watching wrestling on TV, like you'll get it to some degree, but like it's not until you like actually get in there and like have your own character, have your own story to tell and whatnot, where you actually start to like
When it clicks, when it
yeah.
all clicks.
Yes, that's
That's the moments, and you don't know those moments until it happens, right? Like for me, it didn't happen until I was almost 2 years into my career, and then the switch flipped, and when it did, I was like, huh, I was doing this the wrong way the whole way around. I got a mouth, and I know how to run it. I don't need to be a baby face. I need to be a heel, and I need to talk you into the building to watch the baby face kick my ass. That's what I need to do. And when I found that, it was a different level. And you're correct too when you talk about psychology. Like that was a whole nother level to the game. Once the character clicked and what I was trying to do and what I was trying to present, the psychology almost came like second nature. It was like this is where it should have been the whole time. So when did that switch flip for you? Do you remember? Do you remember when, whether it was a match or whether it was, training or whatever it was? Do you know when that happened for you?
So unlike a lot of the people that were at Level Up, they actually let me do what I wanted to do, and that was to be a heel at the start. And I was one of those people that was so concerned on being the quote unquote cool heel. Oh, I can do all these moves. Oh, I can, and I'm sitting here blowing myself the hell up in the ring,
yep,
and making myself look almost like a mark for myself. You know what I mean? And like, yes, heels are technically supposed to be that, but like, like you're not supposed to be a mark for yourself in real life. So, when I really started to just dial it back a bit, like I can, like you just said, I have a mouth.
Yeah.
And I can run that shit. Oh man, I can run my mouth, and like, being able to come up with like the tiniest little quips to like just snap back at people from in the crowd. I don't even need to do move after move after move. I can just spit something back, and that'll be the thing that gets the crowd going.
I'm gonna tell you something, brother.
My guy can sell. I got this.
Yeah.
You do that for me, I'll do this for y'all, for everybody else. You know what I mean?
I had no problems being the chicken shit heel. I was a dude that if I didn't feel like the crowd was with us, like I would totally pull some Candido style shit, and I would just jump the barricade, and I would run from my opponent, and I'd run through the crowd. I would do whatever I needed to do to get a reaction. So when I slipped on the banana peel, everybody came up, and that was all I needed them to do. And it would, sometimes it came easy, sometimes it was work, but that was one of my little go-to tropes that I always had in my little back pocket. Oh shit, they're not with me. I'm gonna get them with me. Hold on. And I'd call a spot. It'd just be like when I would work with guys back in the day, they'd be like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. And I'd be like, nope, we're going to listen to them. And if they say, and it dictates, absolutely. But I can't pre-plan, and pre-do. I can't go through stuff like that. I have to feel it, and I know it when I'm there, and it's never more evident. I haven't been in a ring in 20 years. I stepped in one in November for the first time, not in a capacity, in an athletic capacity by any means, but just stepped in one physically for the first time in 20 years, and it took a second, and the crowd started cheering me. And I was confused, and you can see it. I saw it on screen. I was like, there was a second where I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why are these people cheering me? Because I was used to being booed. I was used to getting heat. And then I had to be like, oh, wait, fast forward. Now, here we are. Now, with you, and I say all that because you start off as a heel, and then you transition into like organically the crowd starts getting behind you within Primal. And I don't want to get too far ahead because we're getting there. Before we get there, though, I do want to talk about character presentation because you've talked about it earlier. When you initially were going in, you were going in as a manager or trying to come in as a manager. You had done studies, you had done looked at some stuff like that. Where does your boyfriend's favorite wrestler come into play? And the evolution, if you will, from initially wanting to try this as a manager to now realizing that, you know what, I can fucking do this and I can do this at a pretty good level. And you start putting your character and your presentation together. What does it look like for you?
So, it was always Xander Phillips.
Yep.
Let's start there. It was always Xander. I saw this, and please laugh at me if you want. I saw this clip on Family Guy one day, and it was weird. Stewie was coming up with a name for himself, and he was saying that it's got to have an X in it because it makes me feel like I'm more important than I actually am. And and so like the X factor that it kind of just came. It kind of just organically came to me. So as a manager, my idea was it was going to be like team X Factor. Like I would be sort of like what Paul Heyman is with the Vision. I'm sort of like the agent of the group, and I'm the one that like I just grab like maybe 2 or 3 people, build up a tag team, build up a faction in general. But later on, I was starting to just think like because the term X Factor seems a little, I guess you could say, generic. The reason I picked it is because I always hear so many people saying, like on commentary, so and so is the X Factor of this group. So and so is the X Factor of their faction. This trait is the X Factor of this wrestler, and I just thought, wouldn't it be cool if I was just the X Factor of the business? Sort of like another way of saying like, the best kept secret, the missing piece, the secret ingredient, something like that. So it's sort of along the lines of you need me more than I need you. You know what I mean? So that's where X Factor came from. Now, your boyfriend's favorite wrestler, contrary to popular belief, it actually doesn't have anything to do with being like flirty, or well, it can, but it's actually sort of a knock on my old friends in high school who let their homophobic boyfriends make fun of me. It's sort of a callback on that. Rather than, I used to get made fun of for being gay. I've been out since I was 16 years old. So it's nothing new. Homophobia is nothing new to me. And I just, again, wouldn't it be cool if I just spun it in a different way? Rather than having it be like, I can take your man. It's more along the lines of, my name is in your man's mouth because I'm that damn good.
And you can
You know what I mean?
Come on, let's be fair. Come on, stop playing.
I mean,
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. I when I saw the moniker and I saw it on a T-shirt for the first time when you walked out on it with it, I don't know if it had to be on a Primal show. I immediately I was like, I gotta get one of these shirts at some point. I gotta get one. And then when I had Jesus on, we were talking about shirts, and I had to bring up Mamacita's favorite wrestler because I thought that was so fucking clever, and I thought it was so well done. Yes, he totally was like, that's an Xander fucking shirt right there, and there's only one. And I said, I need there to be 2. Because I want one of those as well.
I just sent him the actual like graphic for us, so you might actually be seeing them.
That is fantastic because
I'll have to have him get on there because They sell well.
Well, you guys, again, we're getting a little ahead of the dance, but you guys as a package, I was originally, I'm not gonna lie, I was originally concerned because when they put you and Jesus together, uh, you had just come out of your title feud with Redondo, and
Mhm.
was kind of floating around for a second, and Jesus had just lost the Coastal Championship title to Rebel, and I was like,
Mhm.
oh, I hope they're not just being thrown together, just to be a thrown together thing for them to have something to do. And the next thing I see is within 4 shows, that notion in my head was fucking silenced because the chemistry that you built together, the way that you play off of each other, your motherfucking comedic timing with each other is absolutely insane. And I go back to, I think I even clipped it because y'all popped me so fucking hard on a stream. It was a promo spot where you're getting your rewards. Y'all swapped gifts,
Oh yeah.
and y'all both say clock it, and as you're walking out, he's like, what is that? What award did he win?
Rookie
Yes,
of the year.
Rookie of the Year,
Rookie of the
Rookie
year.
of the Year.
Yes.
I was like, these guys, y'all fucking yes, y'all have done it. Y'all have done it. Y'all have won me the fuck over, and I'm excited to see all that. But as we get there, Primal, obviously, and it's a little teaser, guys. Stay tuned because that piece of this conversation is coming. I definitely want to touch on this because to me it's important. It's how you really came across our screen. So I have to go back to Millennium Pro Wrestling and I got to go back to the Divines. They were the ones who said, "Hey guys, if you like what we're doing, you need to check out Primal Pro." So what
Mm.
happened at that point is one of our programs that we do is called Down the Rabbit Hole, where we just go find a random company and pull random matches that we've never seen before, right? It's a super simple concept. Primal is where we went. What we didn't know is when we pulled matches, we pulled something with you and Mr. J. Is it Mr. JL or Mr. J? Who was your partner that you?
Oh, JF
That's it.
2000.
Okay. See, yeah, now I got it. We pulled a tag match with you guys in it, and that was like early in the show, and this was a 2-hour run. What we did not know was that the main event of that show like culminated with y'all's rivalry with the loser leaves town match. That is where you
Mm.
first came across like our screen and Primal specifically.
Okay.
So with Primal, where do you link up with them? Where does that hook in with you, and how do you get started there?
Well, honestly, I was kind of at Primal from the
Yeah.
jump. When J2 told me that he was going to be putting it together, I was one of the first people that was like, I'm there. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my main trainer right now. He is the head honcho of it all. So yeah, I've kind of been with Primal from the jump. I've been just working my way up since the beginning. 2023, I think, is when it like really like started, and it's just been a blast working my way up the ranks, wrestling people, wrestling new people. Finally getting to mix it up with the younger people, or not younger because maybe some people are older than I am, but younger as in younger in the business. It's nice to be able to help. Um, Primal's Primal's the shit. I love it. I am a staunch Primal loyalist. So yeah.
I am really excited to get to SoCal in a couple of weeks because obviously I've been to MPW. I've never been to Primal. And for me, like,
And you're coming on the 29th?
do I know?
You're coming on the
Correct.
29th?
Yes. We're going to drive down and be in the house for that show specifically.
Big one coming. Ooh, we got a big one coming.
Good. I hope so. Because I know that, for me, SoCal is kind of special. Like it really is. They are for our platform. While we have a massive audience across the world, internationally is kind of where we were at January, February last year. It was because of Millennium and stumbling into Primal that we've been able to grow in the States as quickly as we've been able to grow. And while we've been working on relationships with a lot of different companies and building those come with time. And sometimes you have to have some people to take a chance on you, just like you're taking a chance on them. And that's where Millennium Pro and that's where Primal comes into play. And I don't even know if the people at Pro J2 even knows that. Like the live events that we're putting together are put together because I want all you guys to be seen. And if I can have the opportunity to put you guys in different cities in front of different audiences, like I want to do that. And I think that that is the easiest way for us to continue to give back with our platform. So, you know, when I hear that you're as connected and just excuse me, a loyalist to Primal, like I'm here for that because I love what you guys are doing, and your rise in Primal has been something that's been pretty cool to sit back and kind of watch over the last year or so. Because, like I said, from stumbling into the initial that loser leaves town match, which was fantastic. The storytelling in that match was great.
Thank you.
To get to a title match, with Redondo at that point in time. I like I said when we came on the show, that was one of the first ones that we saw like live, and it blew us away. Your performance in that match, it absolutely was fantastic. I think you did some stuff that surprised even me and JB that we weren't quite expecting. Now you also have to keep in mind, I think this was like the first match of yours that we had seen since we did that Down the Rabbit Hole episode. So to know that you kind of worked your way up and you've got this opportunity and you made the most of it. What were you thinking about when the idea came to you about working this getting this opportunity and working this match with Redondo at a premium event for Primal Pro for the heavyweight championship?
First thought was finally.
I love you for that.
I felt like this was something that I could really sink my teeth into. Jake Redondo is every fucking thing he says he is.
Pretty fucking good.
That's the guy, man. Again, getting a little ahead of myself, but like for talking about people that you need to look out for. But yeah, I loved working with Jake. I was so excited for it because I didn't know. I had actually worked him once before, a few months prior. He ended up taking the place of somebody else, and I knew from there, honestly, that like, oh, this guy, super easy to work with, super fun, is actually quite innovative in his ideas. He has a very unique wrestling mind. It's kind of fun to pick at sometimes. But yeah, getting the opportunity to work Jake was fun, and honestly, it felt like it was the kick in the pants that I also needed to really start getting in on my promo game. Because as an actor for 10 years, the more I look back on like my career, the more I realize I haven't used. Again, I have a mouth and I can shoot that shit. I haven't used my instrument to the highest of my abilities, and you said earlier, where was the point where you felt like if there was a switch that flipped? I think it was that feud, and however short it was only a month, but I really feel like that feud really like made me into a better wrestler.
Well, do you think it built confidence in yourself going out there?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Absolutely,
mean, you can see it building and building and building since then, and that's why I say like I truly think that like you're just really on the cusp of having that moment for yourself where you are indeed going to be the guy. Like it's going to happen. You have the ability to do it. You can draw people in. You have connectability there's a lot of upsides to what you bring and what you present and how you present, because I think that it makes sense now knowing that you act and have been an actor for the last decade, because it starts at the entrance. Whenever you've come out, it starts there, and you kind of don't look back. And your match with Redondo, fantastic. It was a really good piece of work, and you guys had the crowd in the palm of your hands. This is exactly where you fucking want them. And more importantly,
Mm-hmm.
like, coming into this, Redondo had just won that championship. And usually,
Mm-hmm.
first or a second title defense, 9 times out of 10 means a retention. Let's just be fair. In this
Yeah.
match, and the way that it was structured and how y'all delivered it, it was viable several times that the championship could have changed hands. And that's really just a testament to both of you guys, and how you both brought your shit that day. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
for those of them, for those people out there that were naysayers or are naysayers, like, I would point them back to that match and say, just go watch that. If you doubt me now, motherfuckers, right? Like, that's that one of those, I am here, I'm planting my flag.
Mm-hmm. Antonio Rivers calls it the fuck you match. This is my fuck you match.
I love Rivers, but he's still on my shit list.
I love him.
He is. He's on my shit list. Brother takes off and goes to Japan and don't tell nobody. Tells
Oh.
everybody but me. I'm the last person who knows. So fun fact, I got to see Rivers and Boa. They were out here in January. Shout out to both those guys. I love them to death. As soon as they walked in and we shook hands and hugged it out, I looked at Rivers and I said, "So, motherfucking Japan." And he started. He's like, "I didn't even go to wrestle." I was like, "But you could have."
But you were
And
there.
you were there.
But you were there.
Didn't tell nobody. And of course, Divine trolled me for weeks, right? Like, on all of our streams. Like, he's there. Yeah, the pump lines in Japan. I was like, what? Stop, Danny. This isn't even a California stream. Get out of here. He said, but I at the end of the day, I love Rivers. I love those guys. I think they're tremendous. And really, that is one of those moments, like, that you can look back on. And truthfully, in a world and in a profession where there's a lot of self-doubt and there's a lot of self-questions, like, that is something that when you ask questions or you start questioning yourself, if you question yourself, that you yourself can look back on, and it is there. You can get to that level. You've been through that level, and you can get back to that level if you were to ever fall from that level, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and going back to confidence, um, you know, Xander Phillips is obviously the most confident person in the world, but myself, Preston Bruner, isn't always that much. It's taken you know about 3 years to get to that point, and every now and then I would always wonder, like, is this like it? Am I really like the am I really the X factor and whatnot? Uh, uh, Full transparency here, there was a point in 2024 where I was ready to hang it up because I was so discouraged. Um, I was not getting booked, and where I was getting booked, it was not necessarily they weren't necessarily like the best bookings and whatnot. I would get booked sometimes not at all in an entire month. Um, but I'll be honest. Again, working with Jake Redondo, he honestly instilled a lot of confidence in me. He was very much like, uh, like, you're like very good, and I'm actually like very excited to work with you. Like, this isn't a transitional feud to me. Like, this actually means something, and just that alone, like, really, like, kind of put the battery in my back to really be like, maybe I am. maybe I am who I say I am. You know what I mean?
No,
So yeah, sorry, I keep glazing Redondo, but no, that's my guy, man. Shout out
yeah,
to
dude,
him.
he's fantastic. He's gonna be out here for chapter 4. He was supposed to start at chapter 3, but brother had to go to the UK. So it was hilarious. He sends
Yeah.
me a DM and he was like, this is probably happening, but it just doesn't need to go any further than this conversation. Only a handful of people know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, all right, cool. I was like, so just
I'll be honest. I gotta get at least a few more matches with him before somebody picks his
it's
ass
gonna
up. Because
happen,
let's
man.
be
He
honest,
was in the ring with TJP
it's Saturday
fucking this
fair.
past weekend or whatever. Like not literally within the last couple of days. It's a matter of time, man. I expect for him to be hitting me up and being like, "I'm sorry, man." I'll be like,
Sorry,
"Don't you
can't do
be
it.
sorry,
I
brother."
got
Like
time.
I tell everybody, I have no bones about it. My thing on one of my shows is I want you to tell me no. I want you to tell me that you can't because you already have something else, or you can't because someone's just offered you a contract, or, because we're working with a lot of guys that are definitely on radars. And then that is by design. If I bring someone like a Devious Cass who was going to get out there for this trip and unfortunately he's not going to be able to, he's on radars. There are going to be people that will be watching just to see what he does. There are other guys that we are working with specifically that are on radars that want to work with us so that they can put their spotlight on what other people are doing because they believe in what we're doing, and what we're trying to do and how we're trying to do it. So it's going to be a fun ride. I do want to take a few minutes because we got to talk about it. We got to talk about the boyfriends. We got to talk about
Oh yeah.
you and Jesus Garcia. I got a chance to speak with him, and I can just hear in his voice how fucking passionate he is about what is going on right now with you guys. And this, when I tell you, I thought it was man, I hope they're not just throwing these guys together, throw them together, and then this thing starts to happen. And what is so cool about what is going on with you two specifically right now in Primal, you guys were both fucking heels. The crowd has organically started to turn you guys up until obviously when you were going into your program with Latino Warfare. And I thought that was so cool because you guys didn't change a fucking thing. They just got behind you. So walk me through this magical pairing that I didn't know at the time I needed in my life that I need in my life.
You're not the first person to say that, actually. So, not even gonna lie. So, boyfriends technically was my idea. Um, for a while, it's funny. I was thinking like, you know something, Xander Phillips needs a boyfriend. And at the time, I actually meant like a boyfriend without the space in between. and and I like went through like who could possibly be viable and who I could actually like approach with something like that, because that's kind of a lot to ask.
Yeah.
Regardless of how much we've like grown in wrestling. Um, so and this has been an idea for like at least 2.5 years now. And I was just trying to figure out who could be perfect for this. And what I didn't realize is that I didn't necessarily need a boyfriend. I needed just a friend in general. Like Xander just needed like a someone that he could really like bounce off of. No, obviously, no disrespect to French, JF 3000. I loved working with him. That was also a blast. That's a time in my career that I will always never forget. But I remember uh, it was watching Jesus uh, debut. I think he mentioned it in his interview the first time when he was when Shaw was his intern. And I just remember immediate immediate hatred from the crowd. Immediate. Like he just had that air about
Yeah, he
him.
says he had slime ball
And
written all over him.
yeah, and the more and the more I watched him, the more I was like, this is the guy. This is the guy. This is the guy. So one day we were shooting the shit. And I was like, hey, so I have this idea, and please tell me if it doesn't sound, viable, or it doesn't sound like something you want to do. But, just a simple, like, no, we're not dating, but it's we've kind of come to a consensus that we kind of want people to be like, yeah, they're not dating. They're obviously boyfriends, but like these guys are obviously like fucking at least, right? So that's sort of like the vibe that we've been trying to give off. Um, it's like peanut butter and jelly. And funny thing is, my shoot initials are PB, and his his name is Jesus. So we are actually PB and J. We are quite literally peanut butter and jelly.
That's fantastic. Oh my god. Uh,
Yeah. It it just worked immediately. We weren't expecting us to like actually be thrown into the tag division so quickly, because we were kind of under the impression that we would continue on with our singles stuff for a little bit longer, and then eventually we would make our way into the tag division. But the people wanted boyfriends, and that's what they got. We couldn't deny it. It was hard to ignore.
it
It was very hard to
it
ignore.
is, and it is one of those little things in professional wrestling that I love, because I always tell people you don't ever know what's going to hook you in with a specific talent, performer, match,
Mhm.
etc., etc. And the evolution in such a short period with you guys is absolutely incredible. I mean, you would think that y'all have been teaming for years with when it comes to promo and how you bounce off of each other, when it comes to the in-ring work itself, like just your chemistry and how you both engage the crowd. I don't know, man. Call me crazy or call me a mark. I fucking love it. I love the combination. I love the duo. I didn't think that I was gonna like it, but I do, and, and it's just one of those things for me. And as you guys are continuing to gel, because 2026 has just started, we've got a lot on tap and a lot on deck, and I know that those tag titles have got to be in the equation somewhere for you guys. Are we on our?
Oh yeah, we're definitely sniffing those out. You just wait on it is what I'm gonna say. Just wait on it,
Well,
because it's only a matter of time, brother.
I hear you, man. I hear you. I'm here for it, and I totally think that we need a boyfriend's tag title run somewhere. It needs to happen. It's got to happen.
Oh, it's
It
it's coming.
it's
Oh, it's
got
coming.
to. If it, I would make that would make me a happy man. I would be the happiest boyfriend's boyfriend in the world. If I got
And that's all we want.
if I got a chance
And
to
that's
see
all we
that,
want.
it'd be great. SoCal's very special to me. I always get to witness something that is either memorable or just overall. It's an incredible thing. Like the first trip out, I didn't know Millennium was having a student showcase show on the Saturday, or what they did the Friday night, the Saturday. So I went to the student show and I got to see a couple of the students debut. So for me, that was the
Mm.
moment. There were several moments that weekend that were very special. Seeing Busio win the championship, fucking great. But seeing 3 or 4 kids debut, and then here in Florida, not even 3 months ago. Well, right before Christmas, having the opportunity to do it again here with some kids that were debuting. Because you only get those one opportunities. And that's why I connect out there, and a real reason why we're bringing chapter 3 there. I knew when we were trying to do these collaboration shows and see what we can do with some of the people that we've made friends with and companies, and just seeing and testing the waters, that even if it fails, I have to come to Southern California to bring an event to say thank you. Thank you to all of you guys out there, because between Primal Pro and Millennium Pro, everybody has been very welcoming to us. Everybody. It takes time to show people what your true intentions are, right? Because even with podcasting, not everybody has the best fucking intentions. But you have to really, it's like paying your dues in the ring. But you guys have accepted us, and we have done the same, and we're coming. And when I was putting lineups together, and I was thinking about, at least even before I even thought about matches, this is how fucking crazy I was with this thing. I was like, I reached out to everybody that's attached to the show. I was like, let's go, let's go, let's go. And then I realized I have a lot of people, but we're gonna make a lot of things happen, and it's gonna be such a great time. And you're one of the ones that I needed on the show. I had to reach out to you, and I was like, I need you there, for a couple of different reasons. And this is real, and as real as I can put it. I'm openly gay. There's no shame in my game whatsoever. I have no problems, and am proudly saying that I am happily married and in an interracial relationship. Part of, outside of your, obviously seeing you work and seeing you grow, as I have seen over the last several months, knowing that you're of your family with me, and within the LGBTQ plus community, I need you there. I'm a firm believer representation matters, and I don't ask people what their business is. I don't. That's somebody wants to, they come and tell me, then okay, cool. That's, at least you told me. But I don't ever ask, and I don't ever pry. But knowing, you in your background, and knowing that you are definitely, family. That's what I consider everybody family, but family. I have to have you there, man. Because you do matter, and representation matters, and it seems like that is such a big thing, and I'm really grateful that you're going to be a part of this, and that you're going to come out and hang out with us and be able to have a good time. So what what are your thoughts about this crazy notion that this dude in Florida thinks that collaboration matters, and that if you can collaborate, you can all grow together, and bringing a live event that he has no clue is going to sell or not sell, and doesn't care if it sells or doesn't sell. He's coming anyway.
Well, for starters, I'm honored. um, Representation is a very big part of the reason of why I am here in the first place. In this journey, one thing that I learned, it's always the kids that have my back, and I do it for the people that look like me, or that see themselves in me, that you know don't necessarily feel comfortable with saying it out loud, but if they're able to not necessarily live vicariously through me, but if they're able to see themselves in someone that can exude being proud and being confident, and again, this the whole reason I'm here. I'm here for y'all. It has become so far and beyond about me anymore. It is go so far and beyond from about me anymore. It is about people like you in general. So I'm honored that you see me as that, and I'm honored um, that you feel the need to have somebody like me on your show. I don't get that very often, and technically as the X Factor, that's kind of the point of the character. So, so no, I really appreciate it. Really,
Well,
I do.
I know that, like I told Jesus, and I gotta figure some things out still, but I'm working on some stuff. But I'm getting the boyfriends on the show too. I don't know when yet.
Oh,
I don't know where.
gotta have it.
I don't know what city.
Gotta have it.
But I am. I do. I think that you guys are, both of you specifically, singles or tag in any form. Jesus is just really getting started with his career, and he has already come
Yeah,
such a long way, and it is going to be really cool to see his rise over the next 3 to 5, just as well as it is going to be to see yours, because I really think that, I think that you're slept on, but I think that I know, I'm not going to say I think, I know that all it takes is the right person to see you at the right time, at the right place, and things start to happen. I've seen it.
yeah, and
I've been a part of it.
we just had a seminar at Primal with Mustafa Ali, and that was someone asked like, how was it? How to how do you get yourself out there in general? Like, and it really does just come down to being in the right place at the right time in front of the right person. And I am confident that that day will come. It's just
I think it's
a
I
matter of
think it's going to
timing.
come sooner than you might think, because, like Mr. Ali says, is it's the you just got to be seen by the right person at the right time, at the right place, and in front of the right audience. We have a pretty big audience, and I do know that things have happened, and I'm in touch with some people and do some things and make things happen just because of what we've been able to do. So that's why I say, man, like, this platform that we built, it's not mine. It's not, Goth's, it's not JB's, it's y'all's, man. Like, it
Mm,
now 2 years of, like, busting our ass to get noticed and to do things a little bit differently than a lot of other people do. It's paying off. And now that it's starting to pay off, this is the point where we flip that switch to say, now y'all need to be watching these guys. Now you need to be coming over here.
mm.
Now you need to be going over here. You know what? You don't want to go. Are going to bring them to you. How about you come out here to us? Case in point, I'm not kidding you. This is how this happened. I had Matthias on,
Mm,
and there was a guy who coincidentally, I'm in Florida, coincidentally
mm,
lived not too far from Orlando, which is where we run our live events. I'm about 2 hours away from Orlando. He
okay.
pops in the stream and is like, "Hey, uh, book Matthias in Florida." Okay. Well, we talked when we got off there, and I did. Here's the thing: the guy wants Matthias, and I can't get Matthias here until like July, or maybe
Mm.
July. I think we had a live event in January. Guess who was in the crowd for the live event in January that had nothing to do with Matthias?
The
The
guy.
guy plus one and a kid.
Okay.
So that's how
Damn.
this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can grow together. This dude didn't know who the fuck I was. Had no idea who I was. I just had that guy on my show. He happened to be in the same area and has bought tickets to our next event in April in Orlando.
That's awesome.
That's how this shit works.
That's
And if we
awesome.
can do that, and if Matthias can do that for us, I know if I put some of you in places that you have not been seen before, it's gonna travel. It's gonna be like a brush fire. I'm not
Mm,
gonna name states, but, like, I'm involved with a couple of companies in a couple of different states where tribalism is a really big thing, and nobody wants to really work together. And I've had other companies from that same state, like, because they see that there has been some growth or there have been some movement just because we've done some stuff with them, try to hit us up. And I
mm,
was like, I can't necessarily pull that trigger just yet, because I believe that we can all work together. And if you're not in that mindset and you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I don't want anybody to try and use the platform for what it's not intended for. And it's intended
mm.
to promote collaboration. It's intended to promote you guys. It's because we don't have shit without y'all. Let's be fair. Companies
I appreciate that.
can build themselves all they want to, but if we don't have the talent to go into the ring to do their performance and to put on the show, I mean, all we got's money. And what is that? That's materialistic at the end of the day. So like you gotta have you guys and girls. You gotta have everybody. You know what I mean?
You gotta have the feeling.
So I know that's my rant. I get one of those a show, guys. Sorry, just used it. Shout out to Mad Rhapsody over on Twitch. Has dropped in several comments. Obviously, we were talking about the boyfriends. They threw out boyfriends, and said that we are proud of you, darling. So I'm assuming that Miss Rhapsody is out over in SoCal in your area. So good to have you on. I say all that, and I'm sorry I didn't mean to go on a rant. It just happens. That's my
no, dude. Please,
it takes me back to like the old Dennis Miller stand-up comedy or shows where he goes, I don't want to go on a rant here, and goes on a rant. Danny Devine over on YouTube says Xander is good at wrestling. Yes, he is, sir. Fun fact, old Divine popped in. I was watching some old MPW, and I can't remember when it was, but it was back when Xander, you and I'm so sorry, I forget his name. JF3000. I saw a very old match. I don't know how far back it goes, but you, Xander,
2022.
You guys were in the MPW ring, and I think you were in like a contenders match or something for the tag titles or something like that. But I was like, oh.
That's still one of my like favorite matches from like from back in the day, man. Ugh. Yeah, I still think about that one to this day.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this now, and I've announced about all the matches for chapter 3, but one, and I was saving it because I know I have you on here today, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what's going down. Actually, I think you're in chats. You probably know our little private show chat. We're definitely, because I know when I came out there, I wanted to come out there and do something really special and try and put as many guys that I could out there financially, right? And to do that, man, we haven't had a battle royal at any of our live events yet, and that is exactly what's going to happen in SoCal at Chapter 3, and we've got 10 of you fine folks in Southern California to do battle inside of one ring, and I will not tell you now what is at stake. What I will tell you is that there is something at stake in just about every match, if I'm not mistaken. And when we get to Chapter 3, I will lay all that out kind of for everyone at one time. But it may or may not have to do with getting in the mix for what may or may not be an open weight championship that may or may not go to city to city to city or be set up for specific cities. If you read in between those lines, if every match has importance or has, you know what I'm saying? Like, there you go. There you do the math, figure it out. And if you know that there's another chapter coming, then it's not hard to figure it out. So there is a big battle royal that is going down with some implications in place. And I'm looking forward to having you on the show. I'm looking forward to having you a part of this thing. And I'm looking forward to, for those out there that aren't familiar with you, to get familiar with you, even if it's through like one of our live events. If we can put you in front of that one person, that's all it takes. One person at the right place at the right time to see what you offer and see what you bring to the table. It's a win the whole way around. Everything would be a win at that point. So for you now, you've got a battle royal on your hands, and I'm not going to tell everybody who the rest of the participants are, but I would like to get your comments on now it being an official thing, and that you are taking part. Is there anything that you would like to say to the other participants of this SoCal Rumble?
Taking part. babe, I'm taking over. Come on now.
Fair play.
Yeah, I hope the others are ready because now that there's real stakes and real implications, you have to be looking at a very different Xander
Well, I'm
Phillips. Just like
just saying, like I have a plan. So like I don't come in empty handed. I have an idea and I need to see if it's going to work, and I feel like it is, and I think that it's something that's going to be fun, and it'll be something that'll
I'm
be
excited.
just all around just a fun time. The whole weekend when we get out there in a couple of weeks is going to be great. Just to be able to show our support to MPW, you guys coming and hanging out and doing something with us, and then literally being able to pick up and go down to Primal. What better way could you spend a weekend?
That's a big one. That's going to be a good show. That's going to be a really good show.
I have no doubts. I really hope that that we can all pull this off and that it's a big success across the board. And I know it's a 3 events, and I know that it's 3 separate events, and I know that in times today that could be a lot for some people, but I keep telling everybody that I guarantee you, if you go to any of these shows, I don't care which one you go to, just go to one, pick one, and go. There's going to be something interesting for everybody. Dallas Dash is going to be wrestling at MPW on the Friday night. He's wrestling with us on the Saturday, and he's going to be probably doing the Primal show on that Sunday. So there's going to be a new piece of talent for Primal to see. And that's something else that I think is going to be so cool about this. As this thing starts to move and as it starts to build, and we're able to bring in some really good pieces of talent that you have not seen before, I think putting them in front, and the same thing can be said if we get you on some dates outside of California, putting you in front of people and watching them connect, like J2 and Skrilla as an example from Chapter 2. Nobody in Florida knew who the fuck they were. Everybody in that audience knew who they were when they left. And it was so cool to sit back and just watch them win over the crowd. That to me is like, it's a new audience, and to watch you guys win them over is like chef's kiss. Now, that is coming up in March. That's here just in a couple of weeks. As we start to wind this thing down, I want to throw out some questions, and this is where I say that I can try and do a lot of help because we do cast a really wide net. I want to know from you, because the independent scene is on fire everywhere. Every state is really picking up. International is just all over the place. It is insane to see, and I think it's great. For you, what are some companies out there that you've got your eye on, that you've got on your radar, that maybe you, if you could try and get an opportunity in, what would they be?
There's one called Winner Circle Pro. I'm always seeing good talent. I'm always seeing good matches on that show. I want to keep up with the reputation of good talent and good matches. I would love to be a part of something like that. Honestly, I want to branch out in Arizona more in general. I was loosely a part of the scene back in 2023, 2024. 2025, I kind of made it my thing to try and be more like build myself more at home. And now I feel like is the time to really branch out in Arizona. So things like that, things like it was in my head, Arizona Wrestling Federation, things like ICW, things like that, Kingslayer. I would love to work with companies like that.
Well, it's interesting. Kingslayer, I think I know who runs that. I think I've had them on the show before. I know I've had them on the show before. Now that you think about it.
Oh wow!
So I know exactly who to reach out to there. That's not a problem. Make sure, let me confirm that. I'm 99% sure that I've had one of the cats involved. The name sounds familiar, and I know that I've tagged them and stuff before. I just don't remember when. Too much stuff, man. It's too much stuff. It all runs together. In the same context, man, who are some people that are out there on the scene that you think that you would jive well with and wouldn't mind getting in the ring with?
I have been begging for a match with Chris Nasty for a very long time. I'm not sure if you know who
I
that
am
is. Yes
familiar.
or no?
I'm going to do some homework on Mr. Nasty, but his name comes up frequently from you guys on that side of the coast.
Yeah, definitely somebody to watch. Um, there's someone that is also in the SoCal scene that I've also been like begging to have a match with. His name is Oscar Felix. Uh, big Oscar Felix fan. Um, that's somebody that um I've kind of been watching since he's been training. Actually, he wrestles out of Santino Bros Wrestling, and I follow them. And I would see like clips of the trainees, and he always stood out to me. Like literally ever since before he debuted, he will always stand out to me among the crowd. And I think he's got a great look. I think he's got a great move set. Again, begging to wrestle that guy. So yeah, someone like him. Um, and I know you know who this is, but I really want to wrestle Jake Mays again.
Okay.
Uh, we had we had some fun a little bit over at the Mustafa Ali seminar recently, and I don't think we touched besides us tagging together at that one time last year. I don't think we've touched in like almost a couple of years. So I would really like to mix it up with Jake Mays again.
I'm a big fan of Mays and his fucking cock of the walk. That's what I call it. He's such a douchebag with
The,
his walk.
but the growth from like 2024 to now is like staggering. I'm a big Jake Mays guy. A big Jake Mays guy.
Yep, I am too. I'm gonna give him shit, but I'm still a big fan of him. I think that he's come a long way. And I think there's so many of you out there that have a really big upside, and it's kind of scary because most of these cats are really just getting started, and then it's look out because all it's gonna take, man, like truly, is just for one or two of you guys to get picked up out there in some form or fashion, and then the spotlight goes on your entire area, right? Like, and everybody gets to be seen in some form or fashion. And that's what my hope is anyway. Call it delusional optimism. But that's what my hope is that there's so much stuff that's happening out there that you guys deserve to be seen. You deserve to have audiences and people need to know who the fuck you are. And in the same vein, same context, maybe the last question I've got for you tonight, because I know we've run a little long. Some people that you think that we should be watching. What I mean by that is folks you've been in the ring with, maybe you got chemistry with, don't get the spotlight they deserve or need. Who would they be? Who would be some people according to Mr. Phillips, your boyfriend's favorite wrestler? That we should be watching.
You watched the most recent Primal show, correct?
I have not caught that one just yet. I was inundated with like 8 Beyond the Bells to edit. I had to get them done in like 5 days. It was nuts.
That's fair. The match between Frankie Flacco and Grizz was fantastic, and I'm really seeing it for the both of them in 2026. How far they'll go, who knows? The ceiling is theirs to create, but I'm seeing it a lot for Grizz and for Frankie Flacco right now. I did just mention Jake Mays, and if I can just shoehorn Jake Redondo in once more time, yeah, that's I'm sure if you don't know who he is, get familiar. And obviously, I love my tag team with Jesus Garcia, but he's got his own his own style, his own flair, his own following, and I think as a singles guy, he could be one of the guys as well. You never know.
100%, and very familiar with a lot of those names. I love the fact that you brought them up too.
Oh, and I'm sorry, one more. I don't know if you watched that episode yet. But Angel Navarro recently debuted, like recently, as in the last show that we had. Really, really looking forward to seeing this guy because
Okay.
when you watch the match,
I
you'll get it.
understand. Say less.
You'll get it.
Say less.
Another person that I've watched literally since he was one of our students. So like I literally watched him from the jump to now, and that's
He's one.
yeah.
Got it. Let's say less. That's all you gotta say less, man. I will definitely be checking it out. Over on Twitch, Mad Rhapsody said Xander versus Nasty, book it. Oscar is also great. And oh man, I can't see what that other one says. No, okay. Oh, they have ads. Sorry. And Eddie.
If I could shoehorn one more fantasy booking,
Sure.
Nick Xander from Vegas. Whether it be us wrestling each other or us in a tag match, the Xanderverse is very alive.
Yeah.
Please, somebody book it.
Facts. All right, man. I got Eddie Roar just popped in too over on YouTube, by the way. So I've dropped in.
I love Eddie Roar.
Eddie Roar is my spirit animal. It is official. I've got a Roar Vine sign that I made for him. Literally, I've been pushing this thing since it was teased in MPW, and I told on a stream that if they did Roar Vine, I would make a sign, and that I'm not artistic at all. So I did. I made a sign. They made a roar. They teamed up. I made them. It wasn't. It ended up being a necklace. I wore it around my neck the entire stream. When they were on, it was on. If they were off screen, it was off screen. But I'm bringing it out to SoCal. I'm going to present that to him. He asked for it. I have it. It is in a very safe place right now, so it can't get damaged. And my nasty artist skills will be in the hands of Mr. Eddie Roar. I think he's great.
Awesome.
I
can't wait to see
Eddie. I know, man. Eddie's fun. He's fun fact. Excuse me. Thursday night we're doing our Golden State Spotlight, shooting another episode of that, and it is on Eddie Roar. So we're going to be watching about 90 minutes of Eddie matches and having a good time with that live with our audience. And that advertisement will go out tomorrow. Actually, it's on schedule to be dropped tomorrow. Eddie was going to be surprised, but since he's in chat now, I'll just go ahead and tell him. Let me ask you this, as we close things out, man, like these first conversations, I'll be upfront 100%. They're surface scratchers. They're meant to be. And at the end of the day, I hope you have a great time and you want to come back and talk to us again. So before we get ready to sign off, I want to turn it over to you. I always turn it over to our guest. Is there anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to throw out there? By all means, the floor is yours.
I guess a piece of advice. Something that I noticed, and a lot of other people noticed and brought up to me last year, was that the standouts, the wrestler of the year, tag team of the year, breakout star and whatnot. A lot of people brought up to me that I was the only one out of all of them that didn't win a championship. And I kind of see that as a good thing. I feel like if you can make it without the prop that is the championship, then that's when you know that you are like, that person, that guy, that girl, that bitch, stuff like that. I think some people put too much stock in the hardware when really it's about the work and it's about, getting to it that really matters at the end of the day. So word of advice, if you're nothing with the championship, then you're nothing without it. I'm sorry, if you're nothing without a championship, then you can possibly be nothing with it. So don't rely on somebody putting some hardware on you when you could just be organic and,
be you.
garner attention the right way, I guess you could say.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, man. Over in chat, actually, Eddie did say loves Xander and need that one-on-one. So it looks like
No, I need it bad.
there's
I need that bad.
hey, that looks like it's a two-way street. So if they don't want to make it happen between MPW and Primal, I mean,
Please.
I know a guy who's making shots to Chatsworth. So
Ooh.
yeah, there you go. We'll take it for what you will. Guys, we appreciate each and every one of you who have joined us here this evening. The easiest way that you can show your support is by sharing, and subscribing. And in Mr. Phillips' case, it's been simple. It's been on the screen the entire show. It's been right underneath him. It's X_Xander P over on Instagram. Please go over, hit that follow button, share his stuff, put his stuff out there. All it takes is the right person to see it at the right time in the right place. And what's crazy about our society? A lot of people use social media nowadays, and that is where a lot of people consume their content. Share it. You never know what can happen. If you're not following us as well, shame on you. You should probably do that. We're at CCP_podcasting over on Instagram. You can catch it at CCP Podcasting on YouTube, CCPE Podcasting on Twitch, and Fireside Page over on X. Guys, it has been fantastic for our guest tonight, Mr. Xander Phillips. I am Chris Page, and we will see you next time.
Yeah.